Hello and welcome to today's video. Now today we're going to be talking about Valorant patch note 2.03, and there's been some pretty big buffs and nerfs, mainly to the Frenzy and Stinger. Well, yeah, and then also Reyna and Yoru. Some changes also to Brib and Phoenix. A new game mode called Escalation, which I've never heard of, but I think it's probably most likely gun game, and a rank rating penalty. Ow. So let's get right into the patch notes, shall we? And the first agent up is Reyna. So Reyna has gotten a pretty big nerf to her Devour and Dismiss, which is her second ability. So this has a souls appearing in dead bodies. Maximum Devour and Dismiss charges reduced from 4 to 2, which is massive. Slain enemies that Reyna has damaged in the last 3 seconds now drop soul orbs, even if Reyna doesn't land the killing shot, which I actually quite like, because I feel like, especially as Reyna, you you depend on those souls. You depend like it can change the game itself. It could change. So if you're like down like two it was like a 2v3 and you damage one and someone else killed them, that would be really good. And if you're really low as well, you get to do that. And it also means that you really need to think how you can use, like, how to use the Devour and Dismiss abilities. It really makes you think. Finally, the cost of Devour and Dismiss charges increased from 100 to 200. Yeah, it kind of makes sense there. There's a little blurb there, you can tell, but it is mainly just a nerf and one buff about the on that, but mainly just a bunch of nerfs. It's a pretty big nerf in my opinion, but I think everyone will probably work their way around it. Next up is the new character Yoru, and he has gotten some changes, mainly to his gate crash and his dimensional drift. So his gate crash, which is his E. Gate crash now displays the range at which the tether can be seen by enemies while moving on the minimap. It's kind of weird, but so the range it will show um I guess. I don't know. I don't really understand it. I need to have a look actually in game or in the video, which will be coming up soon. The range that enemies are able to hear the audio of Gate Crash Teleport is now displayed on the minimap. So I guess it would be like a little aura, like a little circle, like the Killjoy Ultimate or the Reyna Soul Blind or the Sova Recon Bolt. Basically that, I guess. Next up is Alt Dimensional Drift. While in Dimensional Drift, Yora's minimap is now visible, which is quite good. Enemies within Yora's vision range, while in Dimensional Drift, are now revealed to ally minimaps as well, which is pretty big. And Dimensional Drift can no longer body block enemies, which I guess is pretty good, because you don't really want to be body blocked by a freaking Yoru. Brimstone and Phoenix's changes are exactly the same. The audio of Hot Hands or Incendiary Lingering Fire Zone will be easier to hear when other actions and sounds occur nearby, which is pretty good. So if there's like gunshots, May I Swarm, Jettle, smokes, everything, I think that will be I think that one will be louder than any others one, which is pretty good. So that's enough for the agent updates. Now we go to the weapon updates. And now the weapon updates has 3, Martial, Frenzy, and the Stinger. We already know about the Stinger and Frenzy. We did not know, however, about the Martial. So for the Martial, the movement speed when zoomed in is now at 90% of unzoomed movement speed. Previously, zoomed movement speed was 76% of unzoomed. So it's going to be a lot quicker, I think. Price decreased from 1100 to 100 to 1000, or 11 or 1000 and 100 to 1000. I think it's pretty good. It basically is like a cheap sniper, or like I mean like a cheap sniper, or you just use it for just for saving. And the zoom magnification, which you can't really see on screen. There you go. The zoom magnification increase on 2.5x to 3.5x, which means it's gonna be, I think it's the same zoom as the operator, but I don't actually know. It's still pretty good, I guess. Um, Obviously you have a much more precise shot. Now we go over to the stingers, and there are two different nerfs, I guess. So one is the full auto fire, so without zooming in, and the other one is the burst fire with zooming in. Well, I guess, I don't know. So obviously it's been very, very strong recently, and they will be taking, so the price will be increasing and all that stuff. So the price increase would be 1,000 to 1,100, which is the same, which was basically the opposite for the Marshall and Stinger. The full auto fire rate reduced from 18 to 16. The full rate fire now reaches max spread at bullet bullet 4 instead of bullet 6. So in the fourth bullet, I cannot speak today. It will be just that'll be the max spread, and then it will go back down and do it again. I think the spread will just reset itself. Adjusted pitch, which is vertical recoil curve of full auto recoil, climbs more aggressively past the third bullet, so it'll be more aggressive and more hard to control on the third bullet. So that's gonna be fun. For the burst fire, adjusted pitch vertical recoil to be more aggressive after the first burst. Added more error on burst after the first one, and improved accuracy and improved recovery time on burst mode from 0.45 to 4 to 0.4. I will obviously test them out maybe on another video. Next up is the one that we've all been waiting for. It is the Frenzy, and obviously a lot of people have been using the Frenzy recently, mainly on pistol rounds. When I played Valorant like a couple days ago, everyone used Frenzies, so it's definitely very, very, very popular. But now it may get a little bit of a downward spiral. A downward spiral, there we go. The price has been increased from 400 to 500. It's not that expensive compared to the others, like the Sheriff. I think it's the same. I think it's the same price as the Ghost, if I remember correctly, because I think the Sheriff is 600 and the Ghost is 500. So the Frenzy will be the same price as the Ghost, which basically means I don't know if it's better off to use the Frenzy still. You can maybe use the Shorty, or you can stick with the Classic, or maybe you can still use the Frenzy, I guess. But it's gonna be I guess it's gonna be more risky. I guess it's gonna be almost exactly the same as the Ghost. So we don't know. I'm gonna stop rambling with that. More updates. So now this is where we get the full. So this is where we get to the game mode. It's called Escalation. This is a quick, approximately 7 to 9 minutes, fast-paced 5v5 game mode where you must race through progressively less lethal loadouts with your team. The loadout game event varies from match to match, but always features a mix of both weapons and abilities. The same list of loadouts is always used by both teams throughout the match. So it's basically gun game. We'll talk about this a bit as well. So I guess first. So here it is. So the first team to finish at 12, level 12, or the furthest along in 10 minutes wins it. So wins the game mode. So, I guess we'll talk about the rules first. 5v5 game mode, 12 levels. First to 12 of furthest along in 10 minutes wins. Team together must earn 7 points on a level to advance to the next round. A kill on the current level earns 1 point. A kill on the previous level earns 0.5 points. Each player has an individual weapon level they're working to complete. Games run for about 7 to 9 minutes. No agent-specific abilities based on your character's select choice. Only the standard abilities that all players will see throughout the match. Fast respawns invulnerable for the first 5 seconds, which is pretty good. So this is the loadout. Level 1 will either be Razor's Showstopper or Vandal Phantom. Why the Showstopper? I have no clue. Level 2, always Vandal or Phantom. Level 3 to 11 are sorted weapons and abilities. Finally, level 12, a possible Shorty classic knife, shock dart, or even a fucking snowball launcher. Okay, I guess we start the Christmas spirits here. The health the fuck every death drops a health pack that expires after 10 seconds. I cannot speak today. I need help. So the XP gains, it will gain 800 XP for each completed match, and an extra 200 when you pull off a win. And so that's the game mode basically. We'll skip through that. We'll go to the competitive updates, and there's been some changes to the AFK. So what your AFK is basically it. AFK in competitive games for a prolonged period, currently defined as 6 or more rounds, will now result in a penalty of 8 rank rating points. Now I don't know how much this is. It may be very little, maybe a lot. I don't know because I don't play a lot of comp on Valorant, but probably need to get a pro player's advice on like maybe Hiko, maybe Sinatra, Shazam. I don't know. Act rank badges will now be based on your highest rank win instead of your ninth best win. It's not that bad. I don't care about that. You can read that if you want. Quality of life. All sprays will now be destroyed on round start. Alright. Death sequence improvements. They they actually made. Oh my fucking god! They noticed the revive me, Jet. We cannot however bring you back to life. That's Jet's job. Oh, I love you, Riot. Oh, I love you. So the time fade to black, time decreased 1.75 after death and 1.5 after death, so it will be now 1.5 seconds. Time spent on a full black screen decreased from minus 0 seconds to 0.25 seconds. Sorry, that's increased. The total time of the death sequence has not changed, it remains as 2.75. Camera movements smooth significantly, especially for those under poor network conditions. Prior to patch 2.03, any of you could experience camera jittering during the death sequence. It's pretty good, I guess. Like, I don't really think there should really be any changes to it. Probably the smoothness of it, definitely. I just didn't, I just thought the timing was alright. It was just okay. But, yeah. I guess the fade to black also kind of makes sense. Finally, bugs. I can't be fucked to read all this, but I guess I will. I'm not gonna read these ones though. But unless if you want to, you can read yourself. Fixed issue where Yoru's decoy has slightly different sounding footsteps than Yoru himself. Fixed issue where the inward indicator for Cypher's cybercations appears if it took damage. Fixed issue where Server's owl drone could clip through Pacific map geo and view the other side. Fixed issue where players already affected by near side would momentarily see inside smokes that should instead near sight them. Fixed issue where Sky Seekers will no longer work if she was killed at a very specific moment while casting them. Fixed issue where Yoru's was unable to equip a weapon or ability if he cancelled out of Dimensional Drift right as its buffs activated. Killjoy's lockdown can no longer be placed inside Sage's barrier orb in some instances. I did not know that was a thing. Fixed issue where teleporting to Yoru's gate crash right as it expires causes him to fall through map to his death. Rip. Fixed issue where Yoru's bait could sometimes fall through the floor when a stationary version was placed. Fixed issue where Sova could sometimes get the voiceover of for Hunter's Fury to play, even though it isn't used, by trying to equip the owl drone at the same time. The end of the game screen will no longer display average ability cast per round as 0. Fix a couple input bugs around processing and unprocessing objects, cipher cameras, server, drone, etc. in the same frame, which led to locking all inputs or locking view direction. So fix an issue where certain settings would not display while in game. Your player icon color on the minimap is now white if you turn on any colorblind setting, and finally fix a few input issues that were causing players to get stuck using orbs or play to the spike. So that's all the changes in patch note 2.03. We shall be now watching a beautiful video.
그 심장을 멎게 해주지. 어디 보자. 오늘은 어떤 내용이 찾아왔나. 내가 읽어주니까 설레나 봐. 쿵쾅거리는 심장 소리가 여기까지 들리잖아. 내가 먼저니까 다들 집중해. 먼저 이 스킬 무시, Q 스킬 포식의 충전량이 2개로 줄었어. 심지어 가격까지 올랐고. 대신 적 처치에 관여하면 영혼 구슬을 얻도록 변경되었으니 녀석들로 날 충전하는데 그게 다야. 나 너프인가? 여루 버프 좀 먹었나봐? 기분 좋아 보이네. 이 스킬의 사운드 범위가 미니맵으로 표시되니까 좀 더 안정적이겠어. 이제 궁극기를 사용해도 미니맵이 잘 보이고 그 정보도 팀에게 공유할 수 있다. 대단한걸? 아, 궁 상태에서 적을 막는 건 이제 안 된다고. 뭐 다행이네. 피닉스와 브림스톤도 변경 소식이 있으니 다들 잘 확인하고. 총기를 한번 살펴볼까. 첫 번째는 마샬의 버프 소식. 가격은 싸졌는데 저격 배율은 증가하고 저격 상태에서 이속까지 빨라졌어. 숨어, 도망쳐. 스팅어는 너프되었지. 가격은 올랐는데 발사 속도는 느려지고 반동을 잡기도 어려워졌어. 물론 우클릭도 마찬가지야. 그래도 적의 눈을 똑바로 응시하면 정확하게 쏠 수 있지. 프렌즈는 가격이 올랐군. 마지막으로 알려줄 건 시스템 업데이트야. 새로운 게임 모드 에스컬레이션이 출시됐어. 5대5 팀 데스매치 방식으로 처음에 모두 똑같은 스킬과 총기를 들고 시작하지. 적을 처치하면서 스킬과 총기는 계속 바뀔 거야. 자, 모조리 처치해. 경쟁전에도 변화가 있어. 자리를 비우는 놈들 벌벌 떨어라. 액트랭크 휘장은 이제 가장 잘한 랭크를 기록한다니까 좀 더 신경 쓰고. 난 이제 가볼게. 구독과 좋아요 알지? 안 누르면 난 맨 뒤에 있을 거야.
I was actually cringing at that, but that's alright. Anyways, that is now it for patch notes 2.03. I'm glad that the Korean Valorant is actually doing that. I'm very happy of that. Yeah, I'm just very happy. That's it. So that's it now. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Catch you guys on next time in the next one. Goodbye.